What is up, everybody? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and in this video I want to talk about Resident Evil 3 Remake, specifically because a lot of you have been asking me what my thoughts on the game are so far. I haven't really said anything, so I'm going to take the time to do so in this video. But before we get started, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who supported the channel so far. We have finally reached 18,000 subscribers. We've managed to gain well over 15,000 in this year alone, so big thank you for all the support, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to stay up to date with anything and everything DMC. But that is besides the point. Let's dive right into Resident Evil 3 Remake. So for those of you who don't know, Resident Evil 3 Remake initially leaked well before its announcement, I believe on PSN, where we actually got the cover for Resident Evil 3 Remake, or the splash screen that you'd be able to see essentially when you pre-order the game. A lot of backlash, I'm not going to lie, we saw from the community, specifically because of the changes made to Carlos, Jill, and Nemesis' design. Of course, Nemesis and Jill, their designs are fairly iconic, so they didn't really alter their designs all too much. Carlos does look fairly different. I mean, he's obviously an Umbrella Soldier, but he's sporting a new hairstyle, he's got a beard now, things are all different. So of course there was going to be backlash from the community for a game that was so beloved. And this was even before we saw any sort of gameplay or anything from the actual game itself. This is just going off the cover. People are like, what the hell is going on? But then we get the state of play, which I believe at this point was only like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we were introduced to the game under the guise of Project Resistance Story Mode. For those of you who don't know, Project Resistance was going to be a spin-off, non-canonical Resident Evil title, where you played as a group of survivors trying to essentially escape from the chaos that is Resident Evil. But lo and behold, we get hit with the classic switcheroo, the standard bait and switch, where it turns out that Project Resistance is just going to be a small spin-off multiplayer mode for Resident Evil 3 Remake, and they would essentially be bundled together and released at the same time. Now don't get me wrong, this was still somewhat of a megaton announcement, but its effect was slightly dampened by the fact that Resident Evil 3 Remake had leaked on PSN prior to the state of play. But moving on to what people have been wanting me to answer, and that is yes, I am 100% hyped for Resident Evil 3 Remake. I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil franchise, considering that DMC actually spawned off of Resident Evil 4, that being its genesis point. It goes without saying that I'm a fan of Resident Evil. I actually streamed my first Resident Evil 2 Remake playthrough fully on PlayStation back when the game released, and I loved it to bits. It was fun, it was tough, challenging. Somebody who didn't have all that much experience with Resident Evil 2 on the initial PlayStation, it all sort of felt kind of fresh and new to me despite knowing the general gist of things. It goes without saying that I've got a decent amount of experience with the original Director's Cut release of Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1. I played a little bit of Resident Evil 2, but I haven't touched Resident Evil 3 whatsoever. Everything I know about the initial game I've seen from speedruns, because I mean Resident Evil speedruns are some of my favourite to watch, considering that you can pick up so many interesting techniques or tips or just background information, to be honest. But Resident Evil 3, for those of you who don't know, is going to be interesting. I want to see how they handle Nemesis. For those of you who don't know, Nemesis essentially chased you throughout the majority of Resident Evil 3. It's not like Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 who just randomly smashes through walls and appears every once in a while. Nemesis chased you frequently, and he could run faster than you, so it's not like you could just outpace him. He also had a rocket launcher, so you're not going to be just sitting back and popping away at him. He was an actual threat for the majority of the game, and considering that the developers' comments of the remake, where they say it's going to be a lot more action-oriented, I am intrigued as to how they're going to go about doing this. Don't get me wrong, I do like the action Resident Evil games, despite some people not really being a fan of it. I absolutely love Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5. Not the biggest fan of Resident Evil 6, but I can see its merits. I want to see how they tackle this. Now, for those of you who don't know, apparently Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 Remake were actually developed simultaneously, which is why they've announced the game now, and it's set to release in 4 months, which again, that's absolutely insane. Capcom have been on a roll recently for just announcing things and then just letting them go like less than a year after its announcement. So suffice it to say, Capcom are indeed back. But overall, yes, I am hyped for RE3 Remake. There has been a bit of backlash, which I touched upon earlier in this video, in regards to Jill's redesign. Some people wanted Julia Voth back, who I believe is who they modeled Jill's face off of in the initial Resident Evil 1 remake. But that's obviously not happened here. They went with a new cast, which, you know, I'm perfectly okay with Jill's look. Some people obviously don't like the fact that also her actual outfit was redesigned to, I guess, make a little bit more sense as a STARS member during an actual outbreak. But for those of you who want the classic design of the mini skirt and the boob tube top, that will be included as, I believe, pre-order DLC. Same with Carlos, you'll be able to get his old look back with just as long as you pre-order the game. As I said, me personally, I don't have the most experience with Resident Evil 3, so to me it's not really an issue. But I can understand why some people might not be too happy about the changes they've made. But again, they have included the pre-order bonus, which is at no extra cost, by the way. You just pre-order the game and you get it automatically. They've added that for fans of the older look. But in the interest of brevity, I will round out this video here, as there are only so many ways I can truly say I am hyped for this game. Do let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. Do you want me to actually cover Resident Evil 2 Remake in the lead up to 3? I know I did that initial stream, but I haven't touched it since then on the channel, and I am close to platinuming Resident Evil 2 Remake, so let me know if you want to see that on the channel. And of course, let me know your comments on the game as well. If you enjoyed today's video, do be sure to leave a like, and with all of that said and done, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.